Today we're going to talk about an area of great interest for me. It is everyday carry, or EDC. What is EDC, you might ask? Well, it is what you need to get you through the day. What do you carry? What is necessary? Ideally, you wouldn't carry anything unnecessary, but you want everything that you're going to need to be successful in your everyday life. Now, this is something that I am interested in and something that I'd like to share with you. So think about, what are your daily tasks? What do you need? What do you not want to be without? For most people, that would be your wallet, your phone, maybe some form of light, car keys, and house keys. Sure, there's more. You can really, the list is endless. But what is your daily necessity? What can you not leave home without? That is the crux of everyday carry. What are the items that are essential to your everyday life? So an example would be mine. Now, I find myself using the Apple Watch a lot. Currently, it's kind of had to take place of my phone due to my phone being, well, broken. Now, that's just one piece of the puzzle. So what else might I carry? Well, so we've discussed phones and broken phones. So that there's that. Now, what's next? Me personally, I carry a wallet chain with a Swiss Army knife or Victorinox mini champ and my truck key. Well, it's a copy of my truck key. I tend to forget. So that's on that side. We'll have a pocket knife. This is a Victorinox. This would be Outdoor Master Small. I would have my car keys and truck keys, and house keys, which this right here is a Keyport Slide 3.0. And I have a pin, a USB drive, and I have my home keys. I don't have any of the attachments on, just because I want to keep a low profile. Car key, and there's my primary truck key, which I usually use for my ignition on my door. So there's the keys. So far we have keys, phone, Apple Watch, knife. Now, lately, I've been keeping this Olight Baton Mini 3 on a magnetic clip in my backpack, but this is my primary work light I use. It's, I think, 1300 lumens in its brightest form, but I think its medium mode is about 500, which is plenty. I stick this on the roof of my truck when I'm loading it in the mornings, or the door frame behind me, and which allows me to see, because my truck doesn't currently have a light in the box. And this is typically would have a clip, but mine does not, because I just throw it in my pocket sometimes. But it utilizes a strong magnet. So flashlights are pretty important in my EDC. I carry a pair of AirPods Pro 2, which are disgusting. I wish I could clean them up a little bit, but I do use those quite often. And also, wallet, which this is a Travax Ascent, and it holds about 4 cards in the slide section. And I have my ID and medical card in the front. Now, some honorable mentions of things that might get sprinkled in occasionally is I will clip this on my keys. This is an Rolling Stone In Charge. It's the 1.2 foot version. It snaps together with little magnets, but it is a USB, I guess USB standard, and a USB-C on that end. Or I guess it's USB 3.0, I never remember. Then we have a Lightning / micro USB on this end. There's a micro USB inside of it, but it's also a Lightning cable. And again, another USB-C, so it could be USB-C to USB-C. That's pretty handy, but I like to carry that around, and I use that in conjunction with this Anker 10,000 was that milliamp or amp hour power bank, which has wireless charging. It's an older model, but I just tend to carry that with me. So those kind of get sprinkled in occasionally. And I sometimes like to have this clipped to my keys. It's a smaller flashlight for, you know, just finding the keyhole, or when you need just a little bit of light. It's like 15 lumens. Not very bright, but it's also magnetic on this end, so it's nice. And it just turns off by snapping back in its cap. But it kind of annoys me because it sticks to my keys and it's just bothersome. Now, that brings us to our next category. I deploy a truck bag. I keep this in my truck car or truck at all times, and this has everything that I need for the day. It's a man purse, if you will. This is an Oakley extractor sling. Now, I have a lot in here, so as you can see, it's pretty well stuffed. There's my work computer, or handheld. I have a key wallet, pin, but then here is my toolkit that I carry. Undo it from there. I have that thing snapped in so it doesn't fall out. On here, you'll find a lot of kind of essential tools that you might find yourself needing. So starting from the left, we have a pair of Nipix Cobra pliers, or not pliers, I'm sorry. It is a, I guess, I don't know what I'd call those, but it's more of a kind of adjustable wrench. I have the Victorinox Cyber Tool, which is super duper handy. It has a bit driver, which I like a lot, and it holds bits. And then it kind of has all the normal Victorinox goodies, like a nice another set, another wrench, and of course the scissors. And you know, the blade, which is filthy. Can't even get it. Yeah, I need to clean that. Magnifying glass, light, which is currently dead because I'm an idiot. I do use that fairly frequently. And now here is my favorite. This is the Victorinox Spirit XS, a multi-tool. It's super handy, super robust. I've used this in a pinch to actually replace a battery in my truck when I had nothing else, which I was glad to have this. Because that, you know, no more losing your 10mm, I guess. It has locking tools, which you have a, you know, nice saw blade there. And you have a, this is a flat knife and with serration. And you have a file on this side, which I've used this file to literally file nails in half, and it's been fun. And a pair of really good scissors. I particularly like this. There's a lot of other little tools on there, like of course you have the Phillips head, the magnetic head, and yet you have bottle opener. And they all lock, and they deploy this little spring mechanism to go back into the handle. But all in a bottle opener. And this is a really interesting little tool. It's like a wire stripper. Could be used as a wire stripper. But all in all, this is a great multi-tool. I mean, I beat the crap out of this thing and it's still doing just fine. I will say they make a belt clip for this, or it's a pocket clip that screws into one side. It was a piece of junk. The original sheathing came with a ratchet with that multi-tool. A ratchet, and it's almost like a T-handle, but it's not a T-handle. But it has a couple little bits in there. It came with a little bit attachment. I keep that with it. I have some zip ties and shrink tubes on that side. I have this Streamlight, what is this, the Mini? This is the Streamlight Micro Stream. It's a great flashlight. I've lost it in the snow and dropped it and just beat the piss out of it, and it's still doing fun. Now in this section I have different metric and imperial socket bits that I can employ with that ratchet. I have a lighter and some shoe glue. Just, you never know if you'll need it. So that is my toolkit. So what else is in the bag? Well, let me open it up. Sorry, it's a mess. Alright, so that work backpack that I keep in my vehicle or truck just opens up like this. As you can see, I keep sunglasses in there. I keep a Nintendo Switch light for when I wait. Here's another one of those rolling square multi-charger cables. Dayquil, etc. And some Slim Jims, deodorant. I have a key wallet with various keys to different places that I deliver. Business cards. I have a little zipper wallet there. It holds a spare power bank, some zip ties, medicines, you name it. Here I keep a spare, another mag. Toolkit, work computer. I have a bushcraft knife, and a really bright light, and a knife sharpener in there. Power bank, it's a charger for that baton light I showed earlier. Spare USB-C cable, and an actual 1/4 ratchet. And here, there is an iPad mini. Sorry about that. As you can see, it's fairly well cram-packed. But really anything you could think of, I try to have on hand. Have an air tag right there, just so I don't lose anything. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Well, pretty well covers it. So the one thing you might sprinkle in would be one of these. This is an Epson scanner. It works wirelessly with your phone. It's nice for just scanning tickets and receipts. Don't necessarily carry it, but I've thought about it. But as you can see, it's a pretty cram-packed ordeal, but I don't like leaving the house without stuff that I might need. So it's all in there. This is typically how I open and close the backpack itself. Just kind of debating replacing it, but it works for well enough for my needs. It's not too big, not too little, just I can't remember how many liters it was. It's just the same. That's pretty much what I would carry every day. Give or take a few items here and there. You never know what your day is going to call for. I like to just try to keep what I do keep a set of tools in the truck and some other odds and ends, jumper cables, you name it. But as far as what I like to take with me between the places I go and always have close by, that would be the bag. Other than the things that I actually keep on my person, which I've been trying to keep less and less as I find what I really need. I will say I would probably carry that Swiss Army knife cyber tool with me more often, just so I actually have a more substantial set of tools on me. But I don't need that much on my person. That's why the backpack is nice. I strongly suggest employing that as something you might have at all times, whether it be in a vehicle or in your office, in your truck. Just having all of the little things that make your day a little nicer. Now, I didn't really get into vehicle specific stuff, which is pretty obvious. My use case is more specific because I'm a distributor and I deliver to a lot of places, and I'm loading my work vehicle and having different needs about all the weather. So that's another thing, is always keep some different forms of jackets and coats and stuff for inclement weather in whichever vehicle you might be in, which I can't stress that enough. You never know where you're gonna be. So make sure you have a good pair of shoes and dry socks, and maybe a raincoat, because you don't want to be stuck out wet. It's no fun. But I mean, you just gotta find what works for you, and that was what worked for me. It won't necessarily fit your needs, but the fun thing is finding that, and then finding what you wish you had, or what you find you don't need, because that backpack, there's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily need in there. However, there are some things that have been mighty beneficial to have on me. It's just kind of a balancing act.